I hope you guys are doing well. So today we're looking at how to combine and separate objects, and we'll be looking at everything we can related to this topic. So first thing first, I'll need to just duplicate and move this because we need multiple objects to actually see this. Now once I actually select this object, you can see that this material tab we have this material. So it actually says 3. This means that this one singular material is being used by all 3 or multiple 3 objects. Okay, it can be any 3 objects. So I actually want this one to be red, so uniquely. So I'm just going to click on over here, and right now it's just created made this material unique. So I'll just call it R for red and change its color to red, and I'll just go into Z and then material preview so that you can see that this one is red. Now when I click on this over here, the material, that name material, again it says 2. That means these 2 are still using it. So I'll click on it again, and then I'll just call it B for blue, and again change its color, and as you can see it's now unique. And again Y for yellow, and I'll just click on over here to make it yellow. So and now you also need to observe the names of these objects. As you can see, cube 001 is blue and cube 002 is yellow. So if I want to combine these two cubes, or maybe I just want another cube with this cube one, and there I can do 2 things. So first thing I can do is click on this cube and then tap to go into edit mode, and if I go in shift A, and let's just say I want to add an icosphere, and I'll just move it about over here, and by default it automatically gets the material if it's only one material, or maybe the top material, it's by default gives it that. So right now you can see it still says cube 001, cube 002. It doesn't say icosphere. Let me just show you. If I add another icosphere, now I'm outside of edit mode. So if I add another icosphere, you can see that it doesn't have the material, and it says separately an icosphere in the object scene panel. So I just delete this. So what if I want to combine 2 objects together? I'll just delete this, and I'll just select the first, and then click on shift and select the second. As you can see that the outline around the cube is orange. Okay, as you can see it's orange, and this one is yellow. This means this is our active object. Once I combine these 2, then before we continue, please consider subscribing. Only 9% of you are actually subscribed. My goal is to reach 2.5k subs by the end of this year, and drop a like and a comment while you're at it. Then this one will become part of this one, or whichever one has the yellow outline. So I want the red one to be the primary object. So I'll go ahead and click on the shortcut Control and J, and now you can see that it says cube and cube 002, and right now these 2 are now a singular object, and this is a separate object. Once you combine 2 objects, you can see their materials also combined, R and B. Okay, and as you can see their materials are also combined. To separate them, you can click on tab to go to edit mode, and if you want to separate any one of these 2, I just want this blue one to be separated. I'm going to click on L, okay, to select it, because it's separated, it's not connected by vertices. So click on L to select it, and then click on P to separate by either by material or by loose parts or by selection. Now first I'll just show you what the selection one does. It does what it is. I had this one selected, so now it's separated. So now this one is a completely separate object, and this one is again a completely separate object, but they are still keeping their materials when they were combined together. Okay, this one still has red and blue, and this one still has red and blue. Now another thing that we might be seeing, that this one actually has its proper, the red one has its proper origin point, but if I turn this off, you can see that when I select the blue one, its point of origin is still with the red one. It actually inherited that property from the red one. So if you want its a point of origin to be in the center, just like how this yellow one is in the center, click on the blue one, go into object, set origin to geometry. Okay, so now it's back, its point of origin is again in the proper place. But what if you want it in a different place, the point of origin? You can go ahead and use the object, set origin to 3D cursor. You can move the 3D cursor to where you want the point of origin to be. I did a whole video about it. It's linked in the end of the video, so you can watch that too if you want to know how to change the position of 3D cursor. Now the next thing we can do is, let me just hide this blue one, and I'll just select these 2. Yeah, as you can see, the yellow one only has the yellow material, and the red one has red and blue material. Even though it's not using it, it's only been assigned a partial part. So we can go ahead and again click on Control J, and I'll just turn on the blue one again, I guess, and then I'm just going to move it on this side, and then click on, and then select again the red one, and then click on Control J again. You can obviously combine them all together Now another thing I want to show you is tab into edit mode. Now remember how we click on Control L and then P to separate. Okay, so that works if the object is separated, they're not connected by any vertices or anything. But if I were to shift click this vertices and then shift and click this vertices and click on F, now these two are linked by vertices. And then if I click on shift and select all of the four vertices and click on F, now a new face has been formed, and I can assign any material. Okay, let's just say I want this material by blue. It's selected, so I'm going to click on and then click on assign, and now it has a blue face. So now if I want to separate the yellow one from this object collection? You can see there's only one cube collection, so I'm going to click on here and then click on L. Now the problem is because they are linked by a vertices, a face, or an edge, Blender is considering them to be a singular object. But whereas this one, it isn't linked by any vertices or a mesh, I can click on L and then it is selected by separately. Okay, so if you want to separate something like this, which is joined by a mesh or some sort, you can click on the join part and click on the delete key, and then click on delete faces, vertices, or edges, whichever is suited for that place, and click on delete faces. Now if I again go and click on L, you can see that now I can select this individually without disturbing this one. Okay, so but now what if you have multiple objects that you want to separate? You're going to click on select A, okay, to select all of the objects. Okay, so now all these three are three separate loose objects. They're not connected by a single vertices or edge or anything like that. So you're going to click on P and you're going to click on by loose parts instead of selection, because selection will mean that whatever is selected will be separated. By material will mean again by material, but the problem is because all three of them have currently the same different materials, it can work, but by loose part is the best option. So when I click on by loose parts, you can see that it now separated them again into three separate objects. Okay, but and they also now have the three materials, all three of the materials. Okay, and again they are separated, but the first thing you need to remember is if I had this right cube and select the yellow cube, you can see the point of origin, they still have their original point of origin when they were a combined object. So again, you can select multiple object and then object set origin to geometry. Okay, so that's how you separate, combine different objects in Blender. Keep in mind the material tab, and these tricks can be useful for when you import a model from online and you want a certain part of it, or maybe you accidentally edit something that you don't want in the material tab. So I hope you guys learned something today. Please leave a like and comment, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel and watch another one of my videos, as that's how the YouTube algorithm works. It's a small channel and it won't cost you anything. Thanks, and I'll see you in the next video.